What if I told you that a single technology is about to inject nearly $20 trillion into the global economy and fundamentally rewrite the rules of employment for every human being on this planet? This is not science fiction. This is happening right now, and the numbers are staggering. According to a landmark study by the International Data Corporation, artificial intelligence will contribute $19.9 trillion to the global economy through 2030 and drive 3.5% of global GDP in that single year alone. That figure exceeds the combined GDP of Japan and Germany. We are witnessing the single largest economic transformation since the Industrial Revolution, and most people have no idea what is coming. PwC released research in April 2025 revealing that AI adoption could boost global economic output by up to 15 percentage points over the next decade. That would add 1 full percentage point to annual growth rates, matching the growth increment the world started enjoying during 19th century industrialization. AI is delivering the same scale of economic acceleration that steam engines and factories once did, except this time it is happening in years rather than decades. And unlike previous industrial revolutions that took generations to unfold, this transformation is compressing into a single decade. So where exactly is all this money coming from? Two massive channels working simultaneously. The first is productivity. AI is automating repetitive tasks, optimizing complex processes, and enabling companies to operate at levels of efficiency that were physically impossible before. McKenzie estimates that generative AI alone could add between $2.6 and $4.4 trillion annually to the global economy by boosting labor productivity growth by up to 0.6% per year through 2040. The second channel is entirely new business models. AI is creating products, services, and entire industries that did not exist 5 years ago. Of PwC's projected $15.7 trillion contribution, $9.1 trillion is expected to come from consumption side effects, meaning new AI-powered products and services that consumers and businesses will spend money on. This is not just about doing old things faster. This is about creating entirely new categories of economic value. Now let us talk about specific sectors because the impact is not evenly distributed. The banking industry alone is estimated to save over $447 billion by 2030 through AI-powered fraud detection, process automation, and improved customer experience. Financial institutions are already using AI to process loan applications in seconds that once took weeks. Healthcare is being transformed by AI diagnostics that detect diseases earlier and more accurately than human physicians. AI systems are now reading medical scans with accuracy rates that match or exceed seasoned radiologists. Manufacturing is being revolutionized by predictive maintenance systems that prevent equipment failures before they happen, saving billions in unplanned downtime. The retail sector is leveraging AI for personalized customer experiences, dynamic pricing, and supply chain optimization that reduces waste and increases margins. And it is not just wealthy nations benefiting. The IDC research shows that every dollar spent on business-related AI solutions in 2030 will generate $4.60 in economic output through indirect and induced effects. That multiplier ripples through entire economies, creating value far beyond the initial investment. But here's the question that keeps billions of people up at night. What happens to jobs? The World Economic Forum released its Future of Jobs report in January 2025, drawing data from over 1,000 companies across 22 industries and 55 economies. The headline finding sent shockwaves around the world. By 2030, job disruption will affect 22% of the global workforce. 92 million existing jobs will be displaced. But here is what most news outlets failed to report. That same study found that 170 million new roles will be created in that same time frame. That is a net increase of 78 million jobs globally. This is not a job apocalypse. This is the largest employment transformation in human history, and the net result is positive. Now here is the critical nuance. These are not one-to-one swaps. A factory worker who loses their position to automation cannot simply walk into an AI ethics specialist role the next morning. The jobs being eliminated and the jobs being created require fundamentally different skill sets, exist in different locations, and serve different industries. The real challenge is not about the total number of jobs. It is about the gap between where jobs vanish and where new ones emerge. And it is about the speed at which workers can bridge the skills divide that separates the old economy from the new one. The International Monetary Fund projects that AI will boost global GDP by approximately 0.5% annually between 2025 and 2030. The IMF's research also found that economic gains from AI are likely to outweigh even the environmental costs of increased energy consumption from data centers. But the IMF warns that this growth dividend is not guaranteed. It depends on responsible deployment, clear governance, and how well nations manage the workforce transition. Countries that invest in reskilling will capture enormous benefits. Countries that ignore the transition will face rising inequality and social instability that could undermine the very growth AI promises to deliver. Let me break down which jobs face the highest risk. Customer service representatives face up to 80% automation potential. Data entry positions could see 7.5 million jobs eliminated by 2027. Retail cashier roles face 65% automation risk. Administrative support, accounting clerks, and basic legal research positions are all in the critical zone. The pattern is clear. Any role involving routine, predictable, and repetitive tasks is vulnerable. But the jobs being created tell an equally powerful story. AI ethics specialists, machine learning engineers, prompt engineers, AI trainers, data quality assurance specialists, and human AI collaboration managers are all emerging as entirely new career categories that did not exist even 3 years ago. Technology skills in AI, big data, and cybersecurity are seeing the fastest growth in demand. Meanwhile, human skills like creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, and agility remain critical and are increasing in value precisely because machines cannot replicate them. The future workforce will not be humans versus machines. It will be humans working alongside machines. And the professionals who master that collaboration will command the highest premiums. Here is a statistic that should motivate every person watching this. Workers who develop AI-related skills are earning 56% more than their peers without those skills. That wage premium alone tells you everything about where the economy is heading. The Penn-Wharton budget model projects that AI will increase GDP by 1.5% by 2035, nearly 3% by 2055, and 3.7% by 2075. Their research shows that AI's boost to annual productivity growth will be strongest in the early 2030s, peaking at around 0.2 percentage points in 2032. The window of maximum opportunity is approaching fast. Goldman Sachs reinforces this outlook, projecting that AI could boost United States productivity by 1.5% annually over the next decade, with measurable GDP impact beginning in 2027. Major technology platforms including NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta are driving this growth with unprecedented infrastructure investment. AI infrastructure alone has already added an estimated $160 billion to what economists call true GDP since 2022. The economic acceleration is starting within the next 12 to 18 months. Now here is what makes this different from every previous technological revolution: the speed. The World Economic Forum found that 39% of existing skill sets required on the job will become outdated between 2025 and 2030. Nearly 4 out of every 10 skills workers currently possess will need to be updated or replaced in 5 years. That is an unprecedented rate of skills obsolescence. 85% of employers already plan to prioritize workforce upskilling, and 63% identify the skills gap as their primary barrier to transformation. Investment in generative AI has increased nearly eightfold since the launch of ChatGPT in late 2022, and that investment is accelerating the pace of change even further. The geographic distribution matters enormously. China is projected to see GDP gains of up to 26% from AI adoption. The United States is expected to see around 7.4% growth. India could experience a 23.8% boost. Emerging markets across Southeast Asia and Africa are positioned for rapid growth due to lower adoption costs and increasing digital literacy. But PwC's research contains an important warning. The global growth dividend from AI depends on more than technical success. Under conditions of high trust and cooperation, AI delivers that 15 percentage point boost. Under lower trust, the boost drops to 8%. In a pessimistic scenario characterized by mistrust and poor governance, the benefit falls to a mere 1%. The difference between best and worst outcomes comes down to policy, trust, and institutional response. The numbers tell an undeniable story. 98% of business leaders now view AI as a priority. Global AI investments are expected to reach $1.5 trillion by 2030. 40% of current economic activity could be substantially affected by generative AI. 86% of employers expect AI to transform their business by 2030. McKenzie estimates that by 2030, at least 14% of employees globally will need to change their careers entirely due to digitization, robotics, and AI advancements. The Reskilling Revolution initiative aims to equip 1 billion people with better education, skills, and economic opportunities by 2030. So what does all of this mean for you? Whether you are a student deciding on a career, a professional wondering about your future, an entrepreneur seeking opportunities, or a business leader planning your next strategic move, the message is clear. AI will add trillions to global GDP. It will eliminate millions of jobs and create even more millions of new ones. The winners will be those who adapt, learn, and position themselves at the intersection of human capability and artificial intelligence. The losers will be those who wait, hope things stay the same, and refuse to evolve. The $20 trillion question is not whether AI will transform the global economy. It already is. The question is whether you will be ready when the transformation reaches your doorstep. Because it is not coming someday. It is here, and the clock is already ticking.